Welcome everyone to the Vodafone Rally de Portugal eSports WRC Shootout. We are back in action with a series of drivers and co-drivers who are going to delight us with their skills behind the wheel of WRC8. I'm Bex Williams, and joining me is our resident WRC8 eSports expert, Rene Butler, ready as ever. Hey Rene, how you doing?
I'm doing just great, and getting all the drivers back in here virtually, even if they can't go on the real rally, that's exactly what I want to see.
Exactly. Esports is the way forward right now in the strange times we find ourselves in. But strap yourselves in because we have some serious entertainment coming your way. Let's take a look at our lineup. And our lineup consists Jose Pedro Fonge, Portuguese double champion Alex Kihirani, who is a co-driver. Marco Balasia is back for more. We've got Sean Johnson, one of our charismatic drivers. Pierre-Louis Loubet, our WRC2 champion from 2019. And MotoGP star Miguel Oliveira joins us. Bernardo Sosa, also from Portugal, and our previous esports champion, Rhys Yates. But let's turn our attention now to what stage they're going to be competing on, and you can't get more iconic than FAF. And here to talk us through it is double esports champion, Nexel.
Hi everyone, it's Nexel, 2 times eSports WRC World Champion. I'm here today to present you the famous special stage of FAF, so let's go. So, really easy start, just some bumps, just like a big right on the left. And after it's a long straight, I need to be just center of the road, also a little jump, do that, and break, so long left turn, try to spike if you can. We're entering the kind of forest section, where you see a bit less than usual. There's a lot of turns, slow turns. There's again a lot of bumps. You need to be careful. Long right turn right there. There's the right turns there. Careful to not go too wide there. And we'll turn is first time section, which is easy. Be careful to the two last corner of the down section. We enter on the gravel again. There's a full throttle right at the left corner. To a blind jump, I need to be at the center of the road again. Brake, going to the side after it. Careful to not go too wide there. This turn. Now we'll enter second pass of tarmac, which is pretty short. To napping. Another hairpin. So you need to be careful to not hit the rocks that was on the outside. Be careful to reach. Now you need to do the exit for the famous long jump of Fafe. And finish the last corner to the finish.
Well, fantastic to see Nexel talk us through it all, Rene. And now we've got a true partnership here. Alex Kihirani and Sean Johnson up against each other, driver and co-driver together. Let's hear from Sean.
What do you guys think of my sunglasses? All right. think it's worth at least a second a K to have these guys on. So here we go.
Well, Rene, is it worth a second a K to these guys with those glasses? Let's find out, shall we?
I'm definitely sure it is. I mean, looking fresh, cool, nothing can go wrong. Both with a great start into this stage, and we saw with Nexel flying through this, how hard it is. That guy is super precise, and if these two want to mirror that in this amazing matchup between co-driver and driver, then they have to be on top of their game, that's for sure.
They really do. I think what's interesting about this is that not only are they driver and co-driver together, but Shawn Johnson he comes from a sim racing background. That's how he got into motorsports. That's where his success lay. He won a competition to actually get behind the wheel of a real car. And now he's turned from racing to rallying. They're looking pretty evenly matched right now, although two-wheel moment there from Alex.
It is a tight track, and you don't want to clip any of these walls left and right there, ditches, and then unsettle the car. We see that on Shawn's side as well. Like, the car is kind of unbalanced, but it's rallying, right? It's all over the place anyway, and seems like he got everything under control. His co-driver, though, I don't know, did he went for a bigger challenge with changing time of day just to make it even harder?
I think he must have, because, yeah, you can see the difference in full daylight for Shawn and shade there for Alex. I think they are looking pretty good together. I'm pretty impressed by Alex's prowess behind the wheel so far. Maybe he will be nudging Shawn for a bit of a go behind the wheel when they are back in action. We have seen them at Rally Monte Carlo this year, but with everything stopped right now, we're not seeing too much action. Shawn does have a slight advantage, though. He is a little bit neater than Alex.
Seems also he's more aggressive into the turns. We see a way more rotation of the car compared to his co-driver, especially on the tarmac section. So it will be interesting to see if Alex can come back with that clean run. I mean, he doesn't want a mistake. That's a good start. But if you want to be fast, then you need to take the risk.
No, you absolutely do have to take the risk out there. And this stage, as I mentioned at the start, it is absolutely iconic. Possibly Portugal's most famous stage. We should have been competing there for real this weekend. And the thousands, the tens of thousands of fans that pile into this one, certainly on this section that we're seeing now, that hairpin from the asphalt up back onto the gravel, such a famous section.
Definitely an advantage now for Shawn, who is quicker there. Even on the tarmac section, there was a good entry on that hairpin. And seems like he's keeping it tidy throughout this narrow section over here. Alex, though, he's absolutely impressing me. He's a co-driver. Normally, I don't even know how they do that, how they read stuff while they sit next to someone that's an absolute maniac going through a forest or anything. But he's also good behind the wheel.
Yeah, he absolutely is, showing us exactly what he can do behind the wheel. He has got, a huge amount of experience behind him. Back in 2003, Alex's career got underway. Shawn Johnson a little bit later on, brilliant jumps from both of them there.
I am very, very satisfied with that run. 3:01.982. So we'll see if that's good enough.
Well, let's see if it is good enough. Little bit of a replay there of some two-wheel action. I think that may well have been Alex. But it's looking like a brilliant run for Shawn, and congratulations to them both. They were head-to-head driver and co-driver. A few mistakes in there, but it is Shawn Johnson who is the fastest through out of that pairing.
Less than 3 seconds of a gap. I mean, that is super impressive. I have to say that. Also, Shawn Johnson, we kind of thought he will have this, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he definitely was favourite there. Let's turn now then to Jose Pedro Fonge and Marco Bulacia. What a vast amount of experience we have with Jose here. He's a double national champion in Portugal. Not only has he rallied for years, but he's also been involved in GT racing, touring cars. He's pretty much done it all. Marco Bulacia at the other end of the spectrum. You know, he's a young guy, 19 years of age, but he has already proved with a win under his belt in Mexico this year that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And of course, he went into the final of our eSports WRC Shootout just a few weeks ago.
Marco, my absolute favorite already. He's putting in the effort. Look at that. He's in the suit, feeling the rally action here, so can't go wrong with that.
That's what I've loved, Rene, when we've commentated on the WRC8 eSports finals or whatever version of WRC it is at that point. You know, the drivers who actually wear driving boots sometimes, or like Marco here is in his full getup. He's got the gloves on as well. He is serious.
Oh.
But up on two wheels again there, giving it everything.
Yeah, costing a bit of time. It seems, though, that he has the edge currently against Font. That will be a hard one to come back, actually, unless Marco does a mistake. And I have to tell you, I spent a bit of time with the drivers, and when we did all of this, as soon as they get behind the wheel, if it's virtually or real, they are competitive. They want to win, and they give it everything.
It doesn't change, does it? As soon as kind of the virtual helmet goes on, they are in full competition mode, and it's great to see. But Marco is doing a very strong job here. You can see now he's quite a bit ahead of Fonge.
Absolutely love the crossover to the tarmac section there, and we see on Jose's side a bit more sketchy coming out there, over-rotating the car. That was at least half a second he left there in front of the village, but it's not over yet, and we know everything can happen on a rally stage.
Yeah, it certainly can. We've seen lots of dramas over the years on this stage in real life, especially Rene on that huge jump towards the end. So many drivers not setting themselves up correctly for the jump, crashing. It is so important in real life and in the virtual world to make sure you're set up correctly for that jump. Nexel talked about it. And I think Sean Johnson has also given us a bit of a guide to this stage previously. If you've seen that online, he also talked about that as well.
The jump is a crucial part, not just because it's iconic and something that really belongs in the stage. Always see Marco going deep into that hairpin there, slightly wider than what Sean showed us in his quarterfinal. But if you don't get the car into the right position, there's not much you can do mid-air, right? The car's in the air, you can't do anything. While we see Jose, I think that was slightly over-motivated for the hairpin.
Let's go back to Marco now then, who is definitely way ahead, but whoa, that was close going under that bridge then. He just came off the corner at the wrong angle, almost hit the bridge. You can tell he's absolutely giving it everything as he heads towards the jump.
That's looking good, and also more clean now on Jose's side. Let's see how far apart they are, because sometimes this is not really the full story, right? It now looks like he should be a clear winner, but the gap, I think, isn't that big.
Okay, I have finished the first stage. I have some moments at the end, but anyways, I did a good time. It's not my best, but I think we will be fast. So let's hope to pass to the semi-finals.
He mentioned the mistakes towards the end there. Yeah, we certainly saw that with the bridge for Marco Balassia, but he is our clear winner on that run. Let's have a look at the times then, set by them both. It's a 3:21 against a 3:03. So Marco goes through, and we say goodbye to Fonge.
Very unfortunate there. It was looking like a good start, but then the middle sector, Marco just played out everything he could.
Okay, Bernardo Sosa and Miguel Oliveira. 4 wheels against a man who's famous on 2 wheels. MotoGP rider Miguel joins us, and I am really keen to see this one. Bernardo has huge amounts of experience. We've seen him over the years in many support championships within the WRC, but now he is up against Miguel. What is going to come of this one? How do we think they've started, Renee?
Looking good for both, although I have to say we had so much 2-wheel action in the previous runs. Maybe that's exactly the stage for Miguel, if he plays it right.
No, you're absolutely right. We did see a lot of 2-wheel action, or we have seen so far, so yeah, it could be right up his street, actually.
Bernardo, we see that if you look at his steering wheel, he really tries to minimize any input, obviously not when he has to counter steer a lot. But before that, he was keeping it clean straight through that fast section. And that's what I love to see when you have someone that has so much confidence in his line that he's not even weaving left and right around.
It's commentator's curse, that, isn't it? There was not much input at all, and then there was a lot because he made a slight mistake there. So he has lost a little bit of time here. I have to say, Miguel is looking supremely confident. He's taking very, very ambitious lines.
He can't really lean himself into the turn like he's probably used to from MotoGP and 2-wheel racing, but throwing around a rally car seems to be up his sleeve as well. Here, it's definitely not looking bad. Maybe a second career path.
Hey, you never know. He might get a bit of a taste for it. Although I think we'd be hard-pressed to push him away from the success in MotoGP that he's been enjoying. He's a Moto2 champion second overall in Moto2 in 2018, and he graduated up to MotoGP last year.
Interesting to see there's nearly nothing between those two, so Miguel Oliveira really showing that he can also do it on 4 wheels. And there's not much left of that stage.
No, not much left at all. Bernardo really does have to give it a bit more of a push here.
A slight advantage now for him, but that was a huge mistake. That cost a lot of time here. We see that Miguel looks a lot cleaner in his run here in one of the last sectors.
Yeah, he's far more precise, isn't he, behind the wheel? And another little mistake there from Bernardo. Bernardo recently celebrating a birthday, would have hoped as a present to be walking away here with getting through, but will he be able to? They're looking pretty even as they come off the asphalt back onto the gravel.
Better happen.
This is going to be a close finish.
Yeah, better happen by Miguel, but there was a slight mistake on both sides on the exit. They both touched the grass to the right. That cost a bit of time, but keeping it really tidy on Miguel's side. Bernardo with a bit more sliding, a bit more action, making sure that the fans absolutely love what they're doing. But I got the feeling our two-wheel driver here has a real chance.
Yeah, it certainly does look that way, doesn't it? Could we have a bit of a surprise result? Were we going for Miguel before the run started up against a pretty experienced rally driver? Let's find out. The jumps are done, approaching the flying finish for both of them.
Oh, this will be super close. Coming close to it. I think Miguel actually took it.
I think you're right, Renaud. I think he has. Let's take a look at the replays then.
Running a bit wide here. There was a push coming close. We saw in eSports that we've seen many years. You can be in front by 15 seconds. If there's a push coming close, you might even lose it.
Well, the times... Oh, and it is Miguel Oliveira who takes it. Congratulations. Look how close the timings were. What a superb run from both our drivers there. But it is Oliveira that makes his way through to the semi-finals. Rhys Yates now then against Pierre-Louis Loubet. Great battles here. Rhys, of course, victorious in our previous eSports shootout. And Loubet is back for a bit of revenge, maybe, René.
Yeah, he could take it here at the fifth stage, beginning of quarterfinals. Interesting to see, both with different car choices. Obviously, Hyundai for Pierre and Rhys throwing around the Ford Fiesta.
Yep, 2 different brands, but one objective here, and that is to make it through to the semi-finals. Both really confident guys. Obviously, Pierre-Louis Loubet is our WRC2 champion from 2019. What was really interesting in the previous eSports, just a little bit up on the banking there from Pierre, that Rhys had an L plate on the back of his rig, René. He considered himself a learner in the world of eSports, but by the end of it, he was tearing it up because he was our champion. They're looking pretty evenly matched here. Again, another close fight, it seems.
He's learning fast, that's for sure. And both drivers with similar lines, I have to say. It's really interesting to see that this time we actually got quite the same styles. Even though that Rhys took that left-hander a bit more on the safe side, but a small jump coming out of it, making sure that's special on the 2 wheels once again. But he's still in control of the car and he's still quick.
Now, back in 2019, Pierre-Louis Loubet won Rally Portugal within WRC2. So I had to look back to see what he did on this stage, on the FAF stage. But he was taking it pretty easy because FAF was run on the final day. He had a big advantage, so he wasn't pushing. He does have experience at this stage. So does Rhys in real life. But for Loubet, that has cost him some precious seconds there, that back end hitting the banking.
And Rhys also touching the wall slightly before that, so both drivers with a mistake at the same corner. Seems like they really want to mirror themselves here in the quarterfinal. But hey, what if you guys has to go through to the semifinal? I'm pretty sure both want to go there.
They both do, and I'm sure they are pushing as hard as they possibly can. It's great to watch. It has been a great quarterfinal so far, and this is going to be a very close run between Loubet and Yates.
Oh, that was way cleaner by Rhys here. He's taking it to the inside, not sliding the car as wide as Pierre does. Look at that happen by Rhys. He really got everything under control now, but also Pierre making it as close as possible to those stones. Oh, and Rhys touching the inside. That costs a lot of time.
Yeah, Loubet is a little bit rear happy. It is moving around a lot, isn't it? Especially as he's coming into to corners. The back end control just isn't there.
You want to make sure that you got a lot of traction. Obviously, we all love to see cars going sideways, but At a certain angle, it's not the fastest way anymore.
No, it absolutely isn't. You lose precious seconds. It looks brilliant, and we all love to see it, as you say, Rene. But when it comes to time, it just eats into your time, and it is Reece slightly ahead now as he takes the jump.
Both aiming for the helicopter.
Before the boards, and it is Reece who takes it. Great run then from both Yates and Lube. It was pretty close most of the way through. I would say 3/4 of the way through it went into Yates' hands.
Definitely the last sector that played into his hands there in creating that win for him.
Absolutely. There we go then. Confirmation of the times with Yates on a 3:04 and a 3:06 for Lube. So it is Yates that makes his way through. Congratulations to him. Let's take a look then at what we have for our semi-final. Johnston against Bulasia and Oliveira against Yates. Fantastic runs through our quarterfinals, sets us up beautifully for what should be a showdown of a semi-final, Rene.
Definitely will be, especially with Miguel Oliveira still being in. Absolutely love that, coming from a different discipline into this shootout, and I want to see him go through.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people will do. And if you want to see all the action, there's the timings for you. Make sure you join us for the semi-finals here at the Vodafone Rally de Portugal WRC eSports Shootout. And remember, if you want to get in on all the action of esports, you can join the competition yourself. WRC8 eSports will be running the championship throughout the whole weekend of Rally de Portugal. So get yourself involved and see if you can beat the guys out there.